live at the same time. So we got two things going on. I'm going to try to move these together, and but now I got to look up at one and down at the other. So I don't know how this is going to work. But anyway, all right, here we are. Israel Light. Yay! Finally. All right. So unfortunately, my guest couldn't be with me tonight. So we're going to go ahead and everything's off the cuff. I made a couple of notes and stuff, but today is Thursday. It's February 15th, and this is the new moon. We got some exciting energy going on, and what I'm going to wind up talking about is the energy wave that's coming. And it has a lot to do with what we've all been expecting to come and see, uh, to affect the world as a whole and every single person. But what I'm going to do right now is talk about why I'm a little bit sluggish. Look, I just had spaghetti. That's the worst thing to do is to have spaghetti before you're going to do a show because you're just getting this lethargic, like, I want a nap kind of thing. And that's exactly the way I feel. So if you guys would send me some energy, get me cooking here, folks, because I got to get going. It was good. What can I say? So anyway, um, I work with the emotion code an awful lot, and I woke up this morning and two things hit me really bad was guilt and confusion, which is something is all based in fear. And when it hits you like that, it's normally something that's coming up that you need to figure out and discover for yourself and what you need to release. And I know why this is for me, and it's because basically growing up as a codependent, and not only that, but in our society, we're constantly taught how to, like, what we're supposed to be, where we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to act, and all this other stuff. So it's the kind of thing for me that it was, all right, I've been really working hard on this and I'm releasing it, but maybe this is why I came up with it this morning. And if you don't know what the emotion code is, it's a really great self healing technique, and you can use it on other people. It's That's the name of the book by Dr. Bradley Nelson. Awesome book. Gives you a lot of intensity and understanding of how trapped emotions can affect us in negative ways and hold on to us, and how to release that. It's a physical, real, electronic um, connection in the brain that keeps that thought intact, and how to release it. That's what the emotion code does. I've used it with different people. I obviously use it on myself, and it's just peeling away layers of the onions of the things that that are beliefs that are nothing more than thoughts that we hold on to get rid of. So anyway, I was working with that today, and then I went and it's 61 in Pittsburgh. It was overcast and started raining just as I was getting finished. But it was like I need to do some woodworking. I need to go out and start getting some of the wood and everything ready for the basis for my drums. And I'm like, wow, I need to go do this. And so I was doing that all day, and I like to jam out. I have my earbuds in and was playing music and stuff, and a couple of different songs came up. And it wasn't like I felt like I had to do it because I just kind of like just do it. But two of the songs that came up reminded me of things in my past, and I know that I've done this before, and it's not here or there on whether anyone else accepts it or not, because it's me asking for forgiveness for my past and my responsibility in it, because I have to forgive myself. That's what we all have to do. So anyway, this time around, it was about, first of all, uh, the song "Blurry" by Puddle of Mudd, and it speaks of when it seems like when you're so far away that there's oceans between you, but it's not so far away, because of the connection that you have with your kids. And I had kids and stepkids, and they were young. They didn't understand what the separation and stuff was all about. But what it spoke of was the connection that I had and my desire of wanting to be closer to the kids because I was on the road all the time, earning a living. And so I asked them for forgiveness. I posted it, and then I did the same thing for the women in my life, including my daughters and lovers and mates and everybody else. And I guess it goes with my mother too. I didn't think about that, but um, you know, of and I forget the name of the song, but I think it was Cold. I don't
Hmm.
remember the name of the band, but it was about, I'm sorry for the way that I am, that I'm so cold. And even in my walk, as far as that I've come, I'm opening up, but at the same time, there is still that cold side of me. It's just who I am. I'm sorry sometimes for who I am if it hurts people, but you know, I am who I am, and I'm okay with it. But still, at the same time, I think you have to offer up that forgiveness to people to let them know that, like, look, this is just the way it is. Doesn't mean that I don't care about people and I have that, overall love for people and the world and everything. It's just, hey, that's the way I am. And that's pretty much it. But that led me into thinking about yesterday because it's Valentine's Day. And I seen a couple different people talk about it. And, um, Pam and I talked about it Tuesday night on Raw Light was about, hey, Valentine's Day is more about romantic love or the love for, someone special. It's about love for everybody, especially love for yourself. You got to learn how to fly. I posted something else yesterday too. Is about how to learn to fly from the inside, and that was a pretty cool post. So when you go on either John Reddy or yeah John Reddy, John Ravenwolf Bailey page or John Ravenwolf Psychic Holistic Healer page, you're gonna see these posts. Um, the more spiritual stuff is on the Psychic Holistic Healer page, and then there's more personal and goofy stuff on the personal page. So it's either way. But you don't want to miss this kind of stuff because I'm always posting something that is going to benefit people. And like I said, sometimes stuff's funny. I just want to make people laugh. I want to let them know that it's okay to laugh and enjoy the day because we all have miserable days. You know what I mean? So if you get on there and you see something that I post and it makes you giggle a little bit, or even if it makes you think, oh, God, he's weird, it's all good. But it is about loving everybody and everything that, that we can really put out there to make somebody's day better. You know what I mean? So now we're going to go back to what I what Pam sent me last night, probably about 11:30 at night. I kind of briefly went over it because I was involved in something else like that, and um, then I read it again this morning, and I want to talk about something. Hi Debbie, hi Serapis, hi everybody. I want to talk about something that I've seen since probably 2011, 2012. And this gentleman, I can't remember his name, described this energy wave in a different way. But when I was reading what he wrote, I seen it as he was presenting it. So it was really kind of cool. So let me let me go with this. I was told, um, I guess you could telepathically or psychically or whatever, that the shift that's coming is going to be, like a total full disclosure type of thing. It's going to be that type of energy wave that is going to wake people up. But it's going to be like anything else. If you jump into a cold river this time of year, you're going to get a shock, and then you're going to come out of it and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get out of the water. But it's that shock kind of thing. That's what this energy wave is going to be like. What I seen back, it was between 2010 and 2012. And I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing. I was standing out, just kind of trying to just chill out one night and looking out through the trees, and I could see the sunlight behind it, and then all the it disappeared, probably behind the clouds, you know. But what I saw was an image of the of tidal wave. You know how a tidal wave will literally come and overtake you. You have nowhere to run, and that's the way what I seen and what I felt, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Now, this gentleman, when he was speaking of the energy wave, and I'll talk about the source of that wave in a minute, but the energy wave that he spoke of was, have you ever noticed, like on a really, really hot day, and you're looking out across the horizon on a road, and it's so hot that you're seeing like these layers of heat waves, you know, that's rising up, right? He described it in a very similar way, except each one of those waves were different colors. To me, that means there's different vibrations, there's different frequencies. So what that does is an integration into our, not only our physical bodies, but also our energetic bodies, you know, that's just coming in layers and layers and layers, but it's going to come in so quick, so hard, so fast that nobody's going to be able to ignore it. And that's what I find is really interesting and cool about it, is because this is something I've seen for years, and now to hear other people talking about it, it's like, all right, well, I might as well just tell everybody else what I'm seeing and thinking too. So what I found out was, from my guides and my ancestors and my connection with sources, that there's, and we all know this, that there's not one universe, there's many. And our central sun is basically, you know, people look, you know, at the Milky Way and other things, you know, saying this is where you expand into other universes. But what I was told was that the source of the sun, the source of energy, is coming from the sun, and it is literally the portal to other dimensions. It's also the dimension or the portal to other universes, and so on. So what I see now, I'm sure that you can, you know, relate to this, in that there are so many different um, uh, waves of energy coming, you know, solar flares and things that are coming off the sun, and they affect our Earth's magnetic field, but they also our biomagnetic field within our own bodies, along with every living thing. It's like this: if it rains or if the sun is shining, either one, it's not like anybody's excluded. You know, the sun hits every single person. The rain is even more so, because it can soak into objects or people, or, you know, and you know how it is. You can go out in a rainstorm and you're soaking wet and you absorb it. This energy is going to be very similar to that no one is going to be able to hide from it. But it's not a bad energy, it's a good energy. And this energy is going to come to us in a way that, for those of us who are preparing, and if you're watching this, you're also one of the people that's preparing for this, because you're on your spiritual journey, it's going to be a magnificent feeling. It's going to kind of, you know, make you feel like you got a buzz. You might be a little bit disoriented, not quite with it, but it's going to be a good feeling. It's not going to hurt. Trust me. It's going to be waves of energy that is just gives you this euphoric love feeling. It's going to be, to some of us, a high that you've never experienced before. I'll put it that way. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And it's going to kind of just jettison us into that fifth dimension, you know, through the fourth, from the third through the fourth into the fifth. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But also be aware that the people around you who are not preparing for this, who have no clue that they're walking around like zombies or sheeple and have no clue of being stuck in this, they're like robots. They don't change anything in their life. They just go to work and they go out and hang out with their friends and play fantasy football, and then they go home, get up in the morning, and go do the same thing over and over and over again. But they have no clue on awakening or enlightening in a spiritual manner and discovering who they are as a spiritual being. So, with that said, they're also going to be even more so confused and probably a little on edge. I don't believe at this point it's going to be the old adage, it's going to get worse, or yeah, worse before it gets better. It's just going to be a kind of thing where they're really not going to know what to do. Some of them are going to be paralyzed. I don't mean physically paralyzed that they can't move or do anything, just paralyzed in like they have no clue. They are going to be completely lost. As far as kids, you don't have to worry about it. These kids know that it's coming. They feel it's coming. They know everything is going to be fine. Um, and if they have any inclination of who they are in the very moment, then it's going to happen. I'll put it to you this way. There was a story done in an interview with the wife of Drunvalo Melchizedek, one of my mentors and teachers, who spoke of a gentleman who was in Hiroshima when they dropped the atom bomb. Excuse me. His vibration was so high that when they dropped the atom bomb, in the after effects, when everything had cleared, hours later, he was walking through the rubble and the devastation and everything else in complete awe of what just happened, because to him everything was in perfect form and then instantly destruction. And when they asked him what had happened, that's exactly the way he explained it. Now, also, they noticed that there was no smell of any of the carnage or smoke or anything else from the bomb. He was not injured or even not a scratch, literally not a scratch. And so they were wondering what had happened, and somebody had come in and basically explained the situation in which he was at such a higher vibration that he was in another dimension. And he had skipped timelines and just advanced. He was taken out of right before it happened to the time after it happened. We're talking hours, but to him, it was literally seconds. This is just a perfect example of what this energy wave is going to be like for us. The ones of us who are awake and aware and see this, we're going to be kind of like going through our normal day as we normally would, and then all of a sudden, there's going to be a difference. I think a lot of us will see the process. But like I said, some of these people that are going to experience this won't have a clue of what's going on. And it won't be so much stress, but it will be anxiety, and they won't know what's going on. So be patient with them when it happens. But the really good thing is, with today being the new moon and the energy going to the new moon going into Aquarius, is that it speaks of how we can transition everything in our lives and start afresh and anew. And it's going to last for the next 6 months. So every venture that you begin or are presently on is going to be supported by the universal energies. It's that law of attraction. And it can also prolong up to 2 full years. So when you think about the positive energy that's coming, and then this energy wave I'm speaking of, from the universe that's going to literally surround and, come into the entire world as we know it. How exciting is that going to be? We're going to be in a position of, look, the money systems won't matter. The jobs and stuff won't matter, even though most of that stuff will be going on for a period of time, because we can't have a world economic world collapse, and I don't think that's going to happen. But there will be changes. There's going to be big changes. There'll be earth changes. There'll be people who will be here, and the next minute they won't be here. And I think the ones that aren't going to be here are the ones that are going to have no clue of what's going on. But it also, here's some other good news, is that because you are awake and aware, that you're literally going to have this split second. You know how people say that when they die, or right before that they die, that their life flashes in front of them, and there's like this life review kind of thing. I believe that's what's going to happen with this energy wave as it's hitting in what seems like a split second. All of this is going to come to you, and then you're going to be asked by source, by creator, however you want to say it, do you want to stay or do you want to go home? And it's not like there's going to be a bunch of dead people around. This is going to be like what they talk about, the resurrection of Christ, where 1 minute you're here, the next minute, poof, you're gone. I know for me, I'm going to be here. That's part of my calling. Because as the new fifth dimension, as we move into the fifth dimension, this new world and everything, there's going to have to be some people that are going to have to kind of like lead you along and explain these things to you and teach you. And that's why I'm here. I mean, I already know this. And there's probably about 1 million of us on the planet that are going to be able to do this. But the cool thing is, you're going to have that choice. And it's all going to happen so spontaneously and so fast that it's going to be remarkable. It really is. It's something like you just can't even fathom in your own mind or imagine. You can take all the stuff that Hollywood's ever said about Armageddon and all this other stuff and how bad the world's going to be. It's going to be just the opposite. It's going to just be, pow, here you go. What do you want to do? You want to hang out or you want to go home? You want to experience the fifth dimension in this physical world, which is far beyond what when I think of like the Garden of Eden that they described in the Bible, that's what it's going to be. It's complete perfection in that there's going to be lush green earth, wild animals and domestic animals are going to get along. Humans are going to interact with them. There's not going to be any want or any need that won't be met. And it's just going to be awesome. It's going to be freaking awesome. But that's what this energy wave that's coming is coming. Now, I've heard different people say different things. I don't want to put timelines on it. But I have heard or felt that it's going to be this year, between this year and 2021. But I'm really leaning the way things are going and the way the stars are lining up, the planets and everything. I don't know, man. I'm thinking this year. I could be wrong. I'm just putting it out there. So anyway, I'm going to go into the notes. You guys here on YouTube, I'm also doing a Facebook Live, and I'm going to go into the comments and read a few of those and see if we keep the discussion going a little bit. So anybody else have any perceptions or have seen any of this? or what you feel or you pick up, psychically or whatever, let me know, and then we'll go from there. Matthew says the Aquarian age is supposed to begin 2024, but so you hear from astrologers. I get that, but sometimes it's. I really feel, Matthew, I've said this before, where the timelines and everything, where everything's running at an accelerated rate. And what I mean by that, if you look at, my grandfather was born in 1890 and died in the 80s, and he's seen so much in a progression of how the world has advanced with technology and things like that. I think it's moving at an even faster rate in the spiritual realm. So 2024 is a good year to go by. Like I said, I'm I'm feeling somewhere between 2018 2021. Mara said she heard that there's at least one more Christmas, and depending on the the perception of everybody, it could be what we're picking up in that specific moment when it comes to us. So hey, you never know. Let's see, and let me go back a little bit on, because I've seen some other stuff. Um, oh, I like what Matthew says. Yes, all perception. Our thoughts create in reality, and the minds will shift, and the chaos will end. Yeah, yeah, and that's the most beautiful part of it. He also said that he says, I am so ready to go home. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I know. And but here's the thing: you guys go home. Just imagine what you're gonna miss out on. Oh, there's Barry. I don't know if he's still here. Hey, Barry, and Casey and Serapis. Okay. All right. So cool. I just wanted to check back on that, see who all was here, and catch up on that. And okay. So anyway, um, in all honesty, that's pretty much it. What I have for tonight's show. Unfortunately, Lisa couldn't come on tonight. She was my scheduled guest, but unfortunately, she has a sick child at home that she needs to take care of. Completely understand that. Um, and I didn't see Stacy, but I hope my friend Stacy and her family's doing a lot better. Her daughter had a high temperature and was in really bad shape, but I know she's home. They still not getting the rest that they need, but let's all send love to everybody and all these children uh, tonight with this new moon to bring in healing, and the releasing of whatever it is that they need. Very important stuff. Okay. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in my notes. Oh, of course, I can't forget bestpsychicsource.com. $1 a minute readings all this week up until Sunday. Don't miss it. And if you want to, you can leave a message on for whatever reader that you decide to go with. Mara, you're right. A new day is dawning and Earth will be renewed. Here's the funny thing: what a lot of people don't understand is that moving from a carbon based DNA in the human form and also the Earth form into the crystalline form, um, the Earth, Mother Earth has already advanced to that point. She's still adjusting, but is ready for the fifth dimension. And it's just our time to catch up. Okay. The Schumann resonance has shown that the frequency and of the heartbeat of America, or yeah, heartbeat of America, heartbeat of the Earth is changing and fluctuating. So that's one of the ways that you can tell. Again, also the solar flares that are coming from the sun, the amount of earthquakes and uh, volcanoes and different things like that. It's just just adjustments that are going on. So you got to be careful of where you're at. If you don't feel right about being in a certain geographical location, listen to your gut, listen to your intuition and get out of there. Okay. Um, yeah, you're right, Casey. That there's so many messages coming into things now, into the world, and we all need to listen to it and take part of it, and see what resonates with us. Um, and you're right, Matthew. Again, the angels. The first thing out of their mouth is that it's like, do not be afraid. You don't allow fear. Do you guys remember what was the name of that movie? Um, oh, The Apocalypse, I think. It was about some Mayan Indians, or it was actually a different tribe that was down in Central America, and they had um, other tribes coming in, take control, and everything else like that. Um, one of the first scenes was the father, who was the chief, who was speaking to his son, who was married. He was old enough to be married and had his own kid and everything. And the one tribe was coming through, and they needed some help and stuff, and they couldn't understand why they were running through. And I remember his father looking at him and said, "You have allowed fear into your heart, and you basically don't let that happen." And I think that's what we're being told now. Look, everything's under control. We have to have faith. We have to have knowing in that faith that the universe has got it. The universe has got our back. There are higher intelligent beings that have control of things. And so there's no reason to fear. So we have to be able to, go right along with that. And because if you have any ounce of fear, this is something else I was told about 4 or 5 years ago. When transitioning from the third through the fourth into the fifth dimension, the reason it's so important to do all the releasing and everything now in the third dimension is because of instant manifestation. This is the law of attraction. This is the power of the universal laws in action. And if you think of something negative, okay, then you're going into the fifth dimension and you think of something negative while you're there, it's instantly going to manifest and at the same time kick you right back to the third dimension. That's why we're doing all the work and the releasing and everything that we're doing now, and learning as much as we possibly can, and to take in these natural talents and gifts that we have as spiritual beings, and remembering so that we can keep on top of things and apply it to our lives in this physical human experience. And that's what's going to take us into the fifth dimension. But listen, practice on being grateful, practice on always having a positive mindset, because if you don't, that's what's going to put you right back at square one. And then you got to start working to get right back up where you were. Now, it is going to happen like that. And that's what we're all going through as far as the releasing of stuff. And that's why the kids and some of these people are sick, and why they're going through emotional, mental, and physical, and even spiritual problems. Is because to release all of this negativity to move into the fifth dimension. And that is happening presently. Maybe I like the way Maureen St. Germain put it, was, have you ever thought about, you put your keys down on your table and you can't find them, and then all of a sudden you look and they were exactly where you left them. Now, as you just looked there, they weren't there. And then all of a sudden they reappeared and there's nobody in the house. That's changing dimensions. That's changing timelines. And this kind of stuff happens all the time to me. That I'll be like, well, 1 minute, like the other day, I had an extra set of keys for my car, and I'm looking for them, and I text Ann. I'm like, "Do you still have the keys for my car?" 'Cause she had used my car for work one day, and she goes, "No," and I'm like, they got to be around somewhere. So I don't remember where I was going or what I was doing, and I just happened to look down next to my seat because I have bucket seats. Guess what was there? In plain view, not slid all the way down on the floor and under the seat. And I don't know how long they've been there. In all honesty, probably a couple of weeks. And I'm thinking to myself, that's pretty cool. It's like I just lost them or they just slipped down there and there they are. And I just pulled them out. That was just the neatest thing. It really was. But that's what I mean. That kind of stuff happens to me all the time. But that's also why we're doing the releasing and everything. So my daughter Samantha says, "Wow, I came into this at the exact time when you said about fear. Apparently I needed to realize that." Yeah, Sammy, go back to a few minutes before that when we get done. And it's what it's all about. Getting rid of the fear and releasing that stuff so that, you know, we can move forward into the fifth dimension. Because Sammy, if you didn't hear what I said, was if you hold on to any kind of fear when you raise your vibration and go into the fifth dimension, you have instant manifestation. So if you think of something negative, then you're going to instantly manifest it, and then bang, you're right back to square one. You got to start all over again, which, it's possible. I mean, we all do it every day, and you might not even realize it, but it's just part of the process. Let's see. And something else that Matthew said, I had to go back a little bit. Yes, follow your gut and your intuition. We all have our purpose. Some of us are healers, some of us teachers, and some are spiritual warriors. And stay to your specific job. Definitely, yeah. And if you feel led to do something else, to kind of like, be with to help somebody in a different way than you normally would not, definitely go for it. You just follow your gut instinct, follow your intuition, listen to that inner voice. That's your higher self speaking to you. And no matter how crazy it sounds at the moment, don't ignore it. Now, I'm not saying if it's telling you to, go rob a bank or something, or go out and buy a new car when you don't have a job. That's just stupid. But you know what I'm saying, okay? So yeah, you definitely want to do those things. Oh man. So I don't know. I did pretty good with my energy tonight after eating that spaghetti. But now I'm getting a little bit of pain down below here. It's almost like from my surgery, from my hernia surgery. I had two hernias, and then if I eat too much and I feel like I get bloated, and then I start to get a little pain down there where the one is. So I don't know. I just got to be careful of that. But sometimes when you eat, it just tastes so good, you just kind of eat a lot. All right. So you know what? That's what I have to say about the energy wave. Please leave your comments below on YouTube and also here on Facebook Live. Let me know what you think, and if you want me to expand on it just a little bit more. Also, stay tuned. People have been asking me about mentoring and spiritual teachings and things like that, and we have something in the works, and it's going to be out very shortly. Actually, I'm going to be working on that tomorrow, so stay tuned to different posts and different things that I'm going to put up in video form to let you know what that's going to be and how you can be a part of it. And you know what? Right now, we have this beautiful new moon energy coming in. Figure out what it is that you want to release and what you want to manifest. But before you do those two things, everything comes in threes. So make sure you make your grateful list. Stay positive minded. Do the very best that you can to stay that way and be happy. Just choose to be happy. And like I say at the end of every show, thank you so much and dare to dream. And we'll catch you next time around.